Hello there, I'm Natasha Koo, the founder of Feminine Space, and welcome to day 3 of this beautiful 30-day video journey of redefining womanhood. And today we're going to be talking all about how do we find our life purpose or passion. So let's get to it. Do you know your life purpose and your passion? Or growing up as a child, when people asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? What did you say? And when people asked you now, what do you do? Or what are you interested in? Or how do you make your living? Do you reply kind of back with the same enthusiasm that you did as a kid? Most likely, if you're watching this video, then it's a no. As we mentioned in the last video for day 2, we talked all about expectations and how sometimes if we kind of take a back seat and don't fully go for what we want in this life, then what ends up happening is that we just do things that are easy, what's expected of us, and that might not always feel very fulfilling. So that's why on this day 3 journey with you, I really want to talk about how do we figure out our life purpose and how can we instill this passion and this fire within us to wake up every morning and be really excited to live another day because we're doing the things that we truly love. Now, to kind of share with you my personal experiences of purpose, although I do work with my clients to create their dreams, I kind of want to just share with you a little bit of my own journey to give you a sense of how life may shape our path to find that purpose. Because for me, this is my second life. What I'm doing right now, this whole coaching, feminine space, instilling just power back into women's lives, well, this is completely something that was foreign to me, and if you asked my younger self, I would be so surprised right now. I would be just in shock if you told me that this is what I would do and that this is what I would really enjoy waking up every day and looking forward to. Because growing up, I was just really touched by my geography teacher in high school, and at some point when I watched the Al Gore movie, The Inconvenient Truth, I decided for myself that I wanted to do something about the environment and I wanted to save this earth from global warming and to pretty much save the human race. So my mission was to save the world, and because of that beautiful teacher, because of the movie that I watched in his class, and so when I applied for university, I knew that, although a business degree was kind of really expected of me from my parents just being at home, I ended up selecting a multidisciplinary bachelor, which was environment and business. So you can think of it as sustainability and business. And as I studied that, I remember the very first week of university and how freaking excited I was. And I would sit next to someone new from my class, and I would say, "Oh, what are you doing? And why are you in this program?" Really bright-eyed, right? And then my fellow classmate would turn to me and say, because there's no math. Or they would say things like, because for the environment there's going to be money in it later after we graduate. And I started to get a little bit more discouraged that everyone else didn't have the same dream as I did. But throughout this bachelor program, it was 5 years in total because I had the opportunity to do a lot of internships at a municipal government level, in the federal government, for environmental consulting. And as I kind of took on these jobs and I realized the reality of what it meant to save the world, or the jobs that were available for me after graduation, I kind of felt a sense that I couldn't really make the living that I really wanted to, and at the same time create the greatest impact that I ever can. So even though, especially in the private sector, when I was in environmental consulting, I had the best job ever, I had the best boss, location, pay. It was just, a really great place to be. Yeah, I just felt within me like thinking to myself, I can't really accept this be the rest of my life, going to work and sitting on that train and, doing the work that I did. And I just thought, wow, I don't know if I want to settle for this, even though it was a great job. And so that was that. Now, the big turn of my life, even though at that point I really thought my purpose in life was to save the world, save the environment, it took a huge turn when I met my husband, then stranger, at the London Heathrow Airport, when I sat down next to him and we spent 3 days together. And it was there that kind of my fate began to change. Eventually I came to Switzerland. It was a huge step. I came to Switzerland, I came to Germany to study, came to Switzerland, and I settled in here. And within that progress of trying to save the world, finding that job, I worked then in kind of the NGO foundations and also not-for-profits for social entrepreneurship. So I guess the journey where it's still market-oriented solutions to save the world, but at this point I was kind of steering away from all the different internships that I had before. So I was kind of pivoting to a more organic, a more social, a more dynamic type of environment to work in. And the very interesting thing is that I was alright with it, but when I got my first real job in Switzerland for a tech startup, I got fired within a month because I got a really narcissistic boss who just stopped paying everybody the moment kind of I showed up. He just stopped paying people. And when I asked to get paid the next day, very morning, I was fired. And I never saw that money. I went to court and the judge was really, really kind and in favor of me. And then I never saw for the end of that, right? And I gotta admit to you that being fired in that job was emotionally quite hard for me, but at the same time I was really liberated because I thought to myself, I'm so glad that I now do not ever have to work with someone who is like that, who treats their employees and fellow humans like that. But once I was let go of, I was not ready to look for another job, so I took the time off. And even when I first moved to Switzerland, I just got this idea. I just had this idea in my head because I was quite unhappy at my first job internship, that I just wanted to teach yoga on the lawn because I couldn't afford renting a yoga studio. I just taught people on the lawn, on a public park, and people would pay me by donation. And people would come back each week. And although I was not at all into self-development or spirituality, that was kind of my inner self telling me, hey, go for it. And I did. And I started teaching these classes even though I didn't have any yoga teacher training at all. I was just basing my teaching on what I knew and what I learned just through classes, yoga classes when I was in university. Now, how this all pivoted was that, through being fired and having time off, my head just filled with all these great ideas of startups that I could do, and I just saw certain problems in the world and how I could begin to solve them. So that started another business idea which eventually kind of tanked, and then I kind of realized that I had a very, very strong knack for healing, energy healing, feeling others, getting to the core of the issue and overcoming it with my client with love, and very naturally and very beautifully. And it's as if life would give me these moments where I would discover something, but it was always an idea and then an invitation. So if you looked at my intuitive hunch about teaching yoga on the lawn, doesn't really quite make sense, doesn't quite make sense for the career path I was going for, or even financially, or but it was what I wanted to do. But that was the thought, but I followed that invitation by saying yes, by going for it, even though I had no clue where it was going to take me. And the same thing as I was fired from my job and I had all these ideas, I acted upon them. I tried the business idea, I talked to people, I interviewed people, I tried to find clients and to see if the idea, it's called Happy Banana, would work, like a happiness center for people who were already on their spiritual journey and who wanted kind of a community to keep growing with. Now, that's the really important thing that I kind of want to show you in the course of my life, is that even though it took me into different industries in an environmental field, and even for that, even though I knew that was my purpose, I shifted, and you can always change. And I had to make peace with the idea or the thought in my head that I need to dedicate my life to this purpose. And for me, that was my purpose. I was supposed to dedicate my career, my working life, to saving the environment. But I let that thought go the moment I realized that it could be something like a hobby that I could volunteer for, that the environmental impact I can create doesn't have to come from my work. It could be from volunteering, it could be from my donations, it could be from my interest or how I live my life, that I can still create an impact, but not just professionally. And the moment I kind of saw that, it opened up a completely new way of living, and that's how the ideas began to take root, because I allowed space in and I wasn't stuck in just the idea that my life purpose is just to save the environment. And there was another moment in time where I got the intuitive hunch to read a book on goddesses. And it doesn't make any sense at all because I'm not into theology, I'm not into goddesses, yet I was called to find a book. And when I did, I eventually found a book, not on goddesses, but the book called The Wild Feminine by Tammy Lynn Kent. And it was there that I began to heal my womanhood, the woman in me, and get to know the feminine energy within me, which really inspired me to then start and found the feminine space. And so to kind of sum it all up, it was a very winding journey, but if you can begin to see the themes, is that sometimes those big changes in life, they're a good thing. Being fired from your job, it might not seem good in the moment, but when huge shifts in your life happen like that, you're given an opportunity to go a completely different way. And not that in each moment you can't, quit your job and find something different, but I'm just saying that sometimes when we feel like things are just crashing down and everything just no longer makes sense, nothing's holding together, that is also the time to build something that's really beautiful, and that might even be more in alignment with you. And another thing that I did throughout my life is listen to this part of me that was whispering. It could have been very quiet, like reading the book on the goddesses, yet it would come back again and again. It was almost nudging me to the point where I thought it was so annoying. I thought I would just go and find a book on goddesses. But it required me to take action. It wasn't just a passive life gave me something. It's an intuitive answer from within me that just nudged me closer and closer to my path and closer to the purpose that I'm ultimately here to kind of live out. And as you see, it's quite winding, but that's okay because I really don't regret anything that has happened in my life. I don't regret any decisions, but I do know that even moving forward in my life, one way to make sure that I'm still kind of living my dream, living my passion, and living my purpose in life is to make sure that I'm still listening to myself. And depending on, how you operate, it might be a vision, it might be an opportunity in life that just kind of appears. For me, it's like a thought, it's like a voice within me. It can come in many forms, how we're guided actually to go for our purpose in life. But the thing is that there is kind of the second part, which is an action. There's an invitation for you to act upon it, to go for it, and to say yes. And sometimes that is the hardest part. It might not be finding the answers, it's in creating that new path for ourselves. And now living dreams and all of that, that's going to be the next series, and that'll come in after the Redefining Womanhood series. But I just kind of want to mention it, that the first part of finding out your life purpose and your passion is to first listen and hear the little voices within you. Look at the signs in life, no matter how much they actually don't make sense. Because for me, they definitely didn't. It did not look linear. Emotionally, some of it was at the really volatile time of my life, and some of it really required courage to move from another continent to another place for love. Yet it just took me one step closer and closer. And to kind of bring this video to a close, I want to say that finding your purpose is not you ask the question and you get it, and then everything is ready to go and you're there. It's more a step-by-step process where in each moment you become present and you become aware of what your heart is really saying to you, and the next step that just feels right to you, even if that completely veers off from the path of what you've known, what's expected of you, and what we as women are supposed to do. So that's the whole point of finding your life purpose, is that it could be very unique to you, and it could be something that you had no clue even existed before, which is my personal experience, because I had no clue what the heck energy healing was, or what life coaching was. I just had no idea. But it's in your own experience, in your own healing, in your own strength and power, that you'll begin to see for yourself, your true self, what it is that she wants. And if we listen to that, we will find our purpose. And just because we don't feel like we're living our purpose now doesn't mean that in any way, are you screwed, or in any way that you're not there yet, or that you're in a place in your life where it's not okay and it should be, somewhere else. That's not it, because I enjoyed every bit of my journey, even as the purpose of my life shifted from healing the earth to healing women. It felt right in the moment. It felt right then, and that's all that really matters, because as long as we follow what feels right here, right now, then we are guided to take that next step. And I promise you, once you do say yes and you open yourselves up to this new possibility of how life could be, and just the future that's before you, then it will give you the opportunity and to give you the ideas and the answers for you to move ahead and really go for your dreams and really go for your purpose. So I hope that this video has helped you. None of my answers are some of them are very simple, but none of them are quick and easy and then suddenly you're there. Because it's within us, and in each moment you do have the answer. So it's nowhere that we have to be, and it's not something that I'm giving to you from the future. It's something that's within you. So kind of feel into yourself what makes you excited, and maybe even what is it that you're most afraid of, because that sometimes can show you something that has been coming up and something that has been trying to inspire you and get to you, yet you're kind of pushing it away for whatever emotional or energetic reason. But sometimes that can be the very thing that we need to really take a look at and embrace, because I promise you, sometimes our purpose and passion is much greater than we'll ever be able to imagine. And because of that, it can be a bit overwhelming as we take those steps and look at where we're going, because it's so unbelievable. But that's okay, and that's why I'm here. That's why the Feminine Space Sisterhood Facebook group is also there, so that we can go on this journey together, no matter how stable, unstable, things falling apart, things coming together. But eventually it's all here, as long as we realize that it's within us and the answers are here for us to listen to and then to act upon. Then that's your purpose, girl. So that's all I've got for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Day 3, and I feel like we've made so much ground already. It's gonna be an incredible 90 days. And if you really enjoyed this video, if I tickled something within you, then make sure to subscribe for more videos that are coming up. And most definitely share in the comments here or at femininetribe.com how are things, and do you feel like you do have a purpose, or are you getting to know it? Or maybe what I mentioned about, your fears and trying to avoid a certain aspect of your life, maybe you resonate with that. So share with us what your experiences have been, and maybe what you're looking forward to now that you realize the purpose, that passion, that fire, that creativity, that beautiful self was always within you. We just gotta connect with her, and she's always there for us. So that's it. I love you so much, and I look forward to the next day and the next video. So stay tuned, and let's keep redefining womanhood for ourselves and begin to take those little steps in each moment that actually guides us to the life that we really, really love and are here and meant to live. So ciao, and see you next time.